And as the people was leaving the station, I was living with them, and I did try to think real fast. Then I saw an older man, about 65, walking by himself. So I did join him, and I said, "Do you live here?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "You see that family over there, grandma, a little kid, baby?" I said, "That's my family, my wife." I said, "I have to run for my life. I have to get out of the country. Can you help me?" He said, "Follow me slowly." I said, "I'm going to walk slowly. And when I turn off to the right, there is a swamp. Hide in between the rashes and the cane. And when it gets dark, I'm going to come back for you." And he did. He was a retired teamster who still had his team, 2 horses and a wagon.
Mm-hmm.
He took us in his home, gave us a dinner, put in his bed. We slept about 2 hours. And by midnight, he said, "Let's go." He said, "My daughter married a guy who lives inside the border zone. And I know the dirt roads through the fields, we can get there. So we can pass the inspection, because on the road everybody was stopped." So that's what he did. It took whole night. We arrived but maybe 8 or 9 in the morning. He drove right into the barn, and he said, "You stay here, and I'm going to go and inform my sister and my son-in-law what's all about." He said, "I'm going to tell them to act like you are relatives from Budapest visiting for Christmas." Mm-hmm. So it's going to be hugging, kissing, and so all the neighbors knows about. That's what happened. He didn't take anything from me. I had nothing to give, really. He did it because he wanted to help. And his son-in-law was dealing with sheep. He was a sheep herder, and he also had connection with smugglers. So first night he did try to take us across, but didn't. We didn't make it. And the second night he said, "Look, you try on your own. I give you my horse and wagon, and you try to get through the patrol." He said, "If you get caught, I'm going to say you steal my horses, so I'm going to get it back." And that's what happened. I put the kid into the straw in the wagon. My wife had a big shawl over her. I had 4 days beard. I was in boots, and I looked like a peasant. And I know how to drive horses. And that's helped, because when we reached the at the border zone, the combined Russia-Hungarian patrol, they stopped everybody on foot, on bicycle. I didn't stop the horses, but I went very slow, maybe a mile an hour, just creeping. When I got to the Russian soldier, I didn't know Russian, maybe 10 words, but I told him, "How do you do, comrade? Здравствуйте, товарищ." And he looked at me, he said, "Russ." I didn't say, "Stop, show your paper." And I kept creeping along slowly, and I was waiting when they're going to tell me, "Hey, you, stop." But they didn't. I passed. And that village was only a mile and a half from the border, and the same night, a smuggler who helped us to go through. My wife had a new pair of shoes. We give them. We had gold chain, my wristwatch, whatever we had, we stripped for the guy. But he helped us to get through.